Team Conrad. Guys, it's a big day for us. It's such a big day. It's time to celebrate. Guys, I love this episode. Spoiler. Spoiler. Love this episode. 10 out of 10. Also, so sorry that I am now 15 minutes late to my own stream of a time that I set for myself. Can it be more embarrassing to be late to something than that? No, it really can't. Here's the situation. Once again, I was cooking and I wanted to eat, but then I got too excited and I couldn't eat. And I was like, you know what? I'll eat when the stream's over. Like I can eat dinner then. It's not important. And then I realized I did not update my thumbnail because I like to give you guys enough time in these streams to know like around what time it's going to be because I'm never on time. And also so that, oh, I didn't even post on Instagram about this. Hold on. We're a mess. But I needed to update the thumbnail because it's embarrassing to have the same, thumbnail back to back. It's not acceptable. You guys deserve better. And so I wanted to give you guys that. Thank God I did not open Instagram all day. I would have been thrown for a loop. Oh my gosh. Guys, every time I finish one of these episodes on Wednesdays, biggest dopamine rush, not only because I just watched an episode of a show that I love so dearly, but also, listen, especially next week with the finale being there, guys, block yourself on all social medias. I'm talking Pinterest. I'm talking TikTok. I'm talking Snapchat. I'm talking Instagram. Just Wednesdays, YouTube, block yourself. Don't check them if you don't have to. Shut everything down. Avoid it all. No spoilers can get to you. It's magic. Set screen time for yourself. So even if you kind of like muscle memory instinct pop into one of those apps, you don't see a spoiler because literally the first thing on my feed right now is a Summer I Turned Pretty official account post. Episode's been out. Well, I guess now it's been out for a long time, since 3 a.m. But even Reddit. Okay, hold on. I need to post a story on Instagram. It's going to be so cringe. I'm so sorry. Oh, and I took a photo. Guys, every passing day I use Instagram, I feel more and more like a boomer. I really do. Guys, we're live on YouTube. Please go watch the stream. I'm so sorry I forgot to post about it early, but oh my God, be there or be Team Jeremiah. That's so cringy that I had to do that on live stream. But it was one take. And you know what? I kind of nailed it if I do say so myself. Guys, how are we feeling about tonight's episode? How are we feeling? I have so many thoughts to share with you. There's so much to dissect. Please put your favorite moments down in the stream, or in the comments. Down in the stream. Girl, what? I will say that dang did I get some predictions right. Also, I got some wrong. And we'll address that. Be there or be Team Jeremiah. Which I will say, boy oh boy did he redeem himself. Boy oh boy did he give me, I don't want to say redeem, total redemption, like he still needs to do some massive work on himself. However, I do really feel like he made progress. Okay, good. Anyway, okay. Get off of Instagram. That's posted. Okay, it's just you and me, y'all. It's just you and me. Okay. Some of you are eating. You're sitting down eating. Guys, I'm so excited. We get this time together every Wednesday. It's actually tragic. Like, I can't think too much about the fact that next week it's over. I can't think about it too much. Thank you all so much for being here. There's so many of you here. Zoe, same. I low-key love this episode. Let me be a professional and let me get my chat ready. Hold on. Properties. You know, would a real professional do this prior to the stream? Yeah, she would. But alas, there we go. Also, if you see anything in my teeth, no you didn't, but also please politely comment it in the chat. I did just try to eat as fast as possible for this, but okay, I actually need to, everything is in the wrong place. It's not like I do this every week or anything to where I should have this down, but okay. Yes, this was low-key such a good episode. And what did I tell you guys? I told you guys that last week was, yes, a little bit of a slower episode, a little bit of a downer, but that this episode was going to pick up the pace. It was going to do the work that we knew it needed to make the finale not feel rushed, but feel as impactful as possible. And boy, did this episode deliver. Literally, it delivered for every single character. That's what's crazy is after last week, I was like, oh, is this show going to just like kill their darlings? And in this episode, they kind of did, but then we're able to like give them moments to shine, give characters that I never thought I would like again a little bit of like a, oh wait, that was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. Like Adam Fisher. Why am I low-key like, I get it, Susannah. I get why you married him. Like I kind of get, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Okay. Let me breathe. Let me act like a semi-normal adult. Even though I don't think all of you would be here watching or subscribed if I did act like a little bit more normal. But thank you all for being here. I'm so excited to see you guys. This is actually, there's so much to talk about. And yes, we have officially, I believe, seen all of the last trailer scenes. So we once again do not know what's going to happen in the finale, which is so incredibly exciting because to catch everyone who is not a book girly up to speed or not a Summer I Turned Pretty, didn't read, will always have summer. The book, from what I remember, again, I still have not gotten my hands on the physical copies. I need the show copies, so I'm waiting to find them at the right time. A Books A Million or Barnes & Noble is going to have to watch out for me because I'm going to become, this weekend, I might have to grab one. But the book goes from, they call off the wedding and Belly is just like, she says the line that she says in the wedding episode where it's like there are moments in every girl's life where they decide like one way or another it's going to change things, like for better or for worse. Like it's going to, like, you can't go back after that moment. And then she kind of leaves. And then we see I think we skipped to the epilogue. Yes, I think we skipped to the epilogue. I don't remember because I think my copy was like maybe a special edition that I borrowed. But I can't remember if you get Conrad's letters first and then you get their wedding. I think you get their wedding, the epilogue, and basically that opens with a letter from Susannah, the wedding letter. And Belly kind of is like, yes, like the guy of my dreams is this way. He is this way. And then you realize that it's Conrad. And then I do think that you get the letters, but I think that might have been like a bonus addition to the books. I can't remember. I don't remember where they're placed in the book. Oh wait, I have it on Kindle Unlimited. Hold on. Please hold while I pull up the source material so that I can actually get it right. How's everybody doing? How's everyone feeling? Ratings for the episodes, favorite moments, things they wish they were going to see but did not. What are our like biggest requests for the finale? Okay, yeah. So it ends with, there are moments in every girl's life that are bigger than we know at the time. When you look back, you say that was one of the life-changing fork in the road moments and I didn't even see it coming. I had no idea. And then there are moments that you know are big, that whatever you do next, there will be an impact. Your life go in one of two directions, do or die. This was one of those moments, big. They didn't get much bigger than this. And basically in that, this is why it's so genius. This is why Jenny Han did so good. Is basically the line before that is when Jeremiah says, I still love you. And she goes, I knew that if I wanted him to, he would still marry me. So you basically end. Oh, wait, no. And then it ends with, it ended up not raining that day. Another thing that didn't happen that day, Jeremiah and I got married. We truly did have the best of intentions. We just weren't meant to be. Then you get a couple of years later and a letter that says, Dearest Belly. And that's the letter from Susannah. Then it ends with her and Conrad being together. And then the bonus is the page to read the letters that Conrad sent Belly. So they're in the book, but they're not like the story is technically over. The last line of the book being, the first boy I ever slow danced with, ever cried over, ever loved. Ugh. Okay, so based on rereading that, I do have an unfortunate theory. And I fear I am going to have to share it right now. I think that this episode 10, was titled Last Year. Now, I think that this could be referring to a couple of things. It could be referring to the year where, like, Belly almost got married. It could be, like, this is the last year that I was single. It could be the last year before me and Conrad got together. I low-key think that it is, like, quite literally last year, and that Conrad is not going to meet up with Belly, or he's going to see her with Benito, and, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be, I low-key just think that they're going to give us a bait and switch in the finale, where, like, we think that Conrad's going to go see Belly, and then she doesn't, but then, I don't know, because she's technically now been there, if her birthday is coming up, basically a year, a little bit less than a year from the wedding. And am I totally okay with her and Conrad getting together that quickly? I am. I feel like the time jump in the book was, it says a couple of years later. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, does she stay in Paris a little longer? And it was like last year I was in Paris, and now like diegetically in the show it's 2026 when she's in Paris and Conrad's flying to Brussels but changes his flight to Paris. And then or hold, wait. New incoming theory, breaking news, new incoming theory. Did he change his flight, but that's not from Brussels? This was where I would need to rewatch the episode, because what if that's a bait and switch where we think he's flying to Paris, but he's actually, it's like actually a future time. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's a theory. Sorry. It's not really a working theory yet, but I think something is being played with the concept of the last year. And, or like maybe it's like the last year in my life before this event happens, where like she and Conrad hopefully get back together. I know that she and Conrad are going to get together by the end of the episode. You don't end it with a boy on a plane to Sign of the Times and a girl getting a haircut and tell me that they're not going to end up together. Like, you can't. They're going to end up together. Why was the episode pure rage bait for you? No. Okay, we're gonna get to that. I'm skipping ahead in the comments, but so I think that what am I trying to say? I think they could be playing with us a little bit, because I think this is the last kind of time they're gonna get to play with us in that way of like tricking us that like, you think this is gonna happen, but actually this. Okay, let's see. Okay, IFE said that my favorite moment has to be Belly writing back. Oh, when she writes back, so sweet. I love the fact that he keeps it in his wallet. Oh, guys, that nearly ended. Like, that was so sweet. That was so wholesome. Also, when he sees the photo of them in the drawer, and that's why he writes her the letter. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I loved her writing back, and being like, this is my new address, but not closing the door on their connection. Like, she's almost given it enough time. And I think that's the beauty of like Belly and Connor's relationship, if I were to sell this to you on like the romance level and not just like the drama of it all, is that like they are two people that can, like, they always find their way back to each other, which obviously is like one of the lines that Susannah has about like all of them, all the kids, like, and the Conklins and the Fisher boys, like their kind of connection. I just feel like that's such a theme for the show, but for Belly and Conrad specifically, like they always come back to one another, and that there's kind of nothing like that changes in their lives that can like fully keep them apart. Mia said, I love Jeremiah and Conrad's reconciliation. You can't take someone, Jer. She's not an effing object. This was probably my favorite scene of the whole show, or the whole episode, because while I love getting to see Belly's life in Paris, like Belly's life in Paris is more so about like seeing her develop in her French, seeing her make new friends, seeing her in this new relationship, all these kind of things, seeing her have a job and like really like be there for herself, which was such like a great evolution of the episode from her at the beginning of the episode being like, I'm so homesick and like I almost don't like being here, to then like wanting to stay an additional amount of time. I loved that. But my favorite was Jer and Conrad, because I didn't know if we were going to get this moment. Like, truthfully, last week, when we were speaking last week, I did not know if we were going to get this moment. Hold on, I need to move this. It looks like I'm not wearing a shirt. Please, I swear I am. I did not know if we were going to get this moment. I was genuinely so nervous that Jeremiah was literally going to be like, okay, bye, like we don't like you anymore. Whereas I think significant work was done for his character this episode in a way that made me actually really like him again as a character, maybe for the first time in the show, like not being annoyed by him. And I'm grateful, because I really didn't want to have to rewatch the show and constantly boo whenever I see Jeremiah on the screen. Like, and once I think I have the ending of the show and Belly and Conrad are officially back together, I'm going to be okay with that. Like, I'll be fine seeing Jeremiah on screen. I'll even probably be okay with, like, their storyline as, like, their wedding. But it was really bothering me, like, to rewatch the show and be like, he's here still? Oh, dang it, you know? And also, like, Jeremiah, the language he's using of, like, Belly was the person that comforted me when I was sad, and, like, you know, Belly was, like, my everything, and da-da-da. And for Conrad to be able to say, like, dude, like, what are you talking about? And I think in that moment, Jeremiah realizes that they both loved her, but they loved her in different ways to different capacities and potentially for, like, different reasons. And the fact that he's even able to say, like, don't think I'll be happy about it, but, like, don't not go after her because of me, basically. It's such a good reconciliation moment for the brothers, and I'm really happy because in the book, in Conrad's letters, it's implied that they kind of reconcile around that Thanksgiving after the wedding. Not reconcile, but are, like, around each other for the first time. Whereas here, when Thanksgiving came and went and then Christmas came and Jeremiah didn't come in the house, I was like, oh, maybe they're really not going to do it. But then they did at Susannah's, on Susannah's, whatchamacallit? Why am I blanking? Susannah's death anniversary. Jeez, guys, sorry. I actually just short-circuited there. There was no other explanation for that. No other explanation. But I think it makes more sense to do it that way, especially because their big fight happened in Susannah's memorial garden, and they haven't seen each other since. So, like, Susannah is, like, the thing that's keeping them together still, and, like, they are coming back together the way that Susannah always said they would. So chef's kiss to that moment. That was definitely my favorite of the episode as well. Mia says, I'm hoping there was a mini time skip before those last scenes and Belly is not still dating Benito at the end of the episode when Conrad is on his way. So Mia, I think you're already on to it. So this is what I was just thinking about is, like, so the last, let's think about our chronological time events. I should make a timeline for my recap video for this. But Belly on Susannah's death anniversary, which they state as April 14th, on the anniversary of that, and they said it's been 5 years, which, hold on. I think Susannah dies in 2023. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Because there was a date on her hold on. We're doing it live. We're coming up with the timeline live. Okay. When did Susannah pass away in the summer I turned pretty? Because there's clues there, right? So she's moving. Okay. God, Mia, you just changed everything for me. Hold on. Chat. So sorry. I will get to everything. But I think this is actually really important for, like, implying what's going to happen. Because, hold on. I'm going to get out. This is my YouTube to-do list right now. So we have, okay, yes. So she passed away April 14. Hold on. I don't like the way I'm writing this, and I'm going to have to show it to you guys. So 4/14/23. He says it's been 5 years. When Conrad and Jeremiah talk, they say it's been 5 years. So that would be 2028. Yes? Bad at math. Okay. Susannah passes. Okay, sorry. This is so... I should be making this in Canva or something. Hold on. Can I do that really quick, actually? Hold on. Guys. Oh, I might not be logged in. Hold on. Oh, I don't know why the password... Oh. Perhaps. We'll go on the whiteboard version. And then we will say... Okay, hold on. Can I find a way to... Wait, guys, I'm kind of excited about this, actually. Okay, hold on. We're gonna do... How would I... Wait, display... No, not display capture. No, I want window capture. Hold on. And I'm gonna bring this over here. Okay, sorry, guys. I really want to do this timeline live because I think it's important that we figure this out, and I'm struggling to do the mental math right now. This one, nope, not it. This one. Yeah, this is what we want. Okay. This. Oh, my goodness. Whoopsie. The summer I turned ready. Timeline. Oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. Can I be professional for 2 seconds? Let me just... Jeez. Okay, I'm so sorry. This is so actually unhinged of me. There's, like, kind of no reason for me to be doing this right now, other than the fact that I want to desperately. And I'm just gonna, here we go. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Here we go. Yay, Sasha remembered how to use her stream. Sasha remembered how to do everything. Okay, great. Okay, so what we want here, timeline. I want like the template, but I don't want the... No, okay, no, that's simply too much. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So 4:14. Hold on. I need to catch up with what is happening. Okay, sorry. Okay, I need to speak through this. So, what? This is actually so embarrassing. This is proof I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. See, they specifically didn't put the years there because they wanted us to be confused. So, okay. Susannah passes 4/14/23. Okay, we're going to do it like this. Then we have... Well, we already knew... Wait a minute. We already knew that 4 years passed. Wait, okay, because Susannah passes the spring of Belly's senior year, which would be 2023. Wait, yes, obviously we know that. Jeez Louise. Okay, so then she has her senior year is 2024 of high school. Then she has her freshman year of college in 2024 to 25, 25 to 26, 26 to 27. Huh? Why is this a struggle for me? She's in college. She's in her senior year of college. So it's been 4 years. 4 years when they get married, when their wedding is supposed to be. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe there's not as much of a time jump as I thought there was going to be. So, Belly, Jer, wedding would have been like, let's say August something of, I'm sure there's probably an invitation somewhere. August something of 27. Yeah? No? Because why am I struggling so much to do this math? Okay, 2023 to 2024 would have been her junior year of high school. No. 2023 to 2024 would have been her senior year of high school. 24 to 25 would have been her freshman year of college. 25, 26 would have been her sophomore year of college, and 26, 27 would have been her senior year of college, which is what she's in right now. So the belly year would have been 26. Yes? Are we the wedding is 27? So it is. Okay, so then this is actually so embarrassing because there's actually not that big of a jump then as what I thought. So something 27. So the reason I'm trying to get at this is to see if they're time jumping stuff. The wedding is August 2027, and then Belly is in Paris from like that day in 27 to at least, let's say, 5 something of 2028. Which means that Belly's in Paris over this time. Which then we also have Jer Conrad combo. Is 4/14. Sorry, this may come in handy for me later. This may not, but we're doing it anyway. We're committed. So Jer and Conrad have the conversation on the 5-year anniversary of Susannah's death here. And then here's the thing. Belly, when she's getting her hair cut, says her birthday is next week or next month. Belly haircut would be, and Belly's birthday, let me Google it. When is Belly's B-Day in the summer I turn pretty? End of June. So she's getting her haircut in this. I feel like there was at least a tiny time jump because I think she either has or has not gone to, nope, that's not what I wanted to do, has or has not gone with Benito to Mexico, which I low-key don't think she does. Okay, this is our sketchy little timeline. Sorry, I wasted actually so much time of the stream doing that. I'm sure you guys are like, really? Like, this is, like, why are we doing this? Like, this was so unnecessary. And for what? And we did this for what? Why not? Well, why? Why not? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. 2028 is the year we are diegetically. Why did I think it was 2026? I don't know why I thought that, but I definitely did think that. So I'm glad that I at least know what year it is in the show at this point. So, okay, thank you, Zoe. You're making me feel not alone. Okay, Mahmoud's got it. The Mexico trip is in May. So there's definitely a time jump from the last Conrad letter to the hair. So here are our options, okay? Belly A goes to Mexico with Benito when Conrad is on his way to Brussels because he's clearly packing for that trip, so it's imminent. And that I guess we don't know when that takes place. But he doesn't even mention like it's Belly's birthday or something. So Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone in the timeline because I was struggling. So we have, I guess what we do have in between here is the Conrad Agnes convo, because that is definitely either 5/28 or 6. So here are our options. 1, Conrad, that's the My Life with the Walter voice. Conrad. There we go. Goodness gracious. Okay. So I was thinking the same thing, Venti Blonde. I was like, is Belly gonna get a bob? Is she gonna get a bob? Okay. Oh, she says she's meeting friends for her birthday. Doesn't mention a boyfriend. I think her and Benito are over by the time Conrad gets to Paris. That makes sense. So here's my theory. Let me just say my theory and not the options. My theory is that the Conrad and Agnes conversation is happening when he's about to go on the trip to Brussels, and she mentions a train ride. So I think while he's in Brussels, because he can't just blow off the trip to Brussels, right? That he decides, oh, I'm going to try to go on a train to go see Belly. He does not get to speak to her because she's either in Mexico. I don't think she goes to Mexico. That seems a little crazy, but like say she does, and that's why then she could only be gone for like a week. But the timeline would add up. If in May, Conrad is going to Paris or to Brussels/Paris, and then Belly is not there. So in that situation, I could see it not happening. Then, she says, I don't remember being this. Thank you, Joyelle. Joel. This was very important. Okay, Conrad Agnes conversation definitely happens in June then. Belly's birthday is the end of June. I'm just going to put end. I don't know if we have a specific date. Okay. I agree, Addie. I don't think she goes to... In season 3, she celebrates her 21st birthday at the end of June. But nobody has a date for her birthday? Jenny Han, what is her birthday? Oh, she changed it to June in the show. So she does have a date in the books, but that's not what it is. Okay, so okay, Belly, June, like end of June. I can just put end of June. What I think happens is maybe Benito keeps pressuring her to go to Mexico, and she's like, no, we're breaking up. Either Conrad goes to see her on the train, or when he's leaving Brussels, he's like, actually, let me fly. Because he does have to go and, like, do his doctor thing. He does have to do his school stuff. But I'm wondering if he, like, it's the flight home to California that he decides to go to see Belly and goes to Paris. As mentioned, Belly... Oh, and I cut this off. Goodness gracious. As mentioned, Belly does not mention a boyfriend. But then, was Benito even really her boyfriend? Because one of you said... Mahmoud, I think it was you, who said, let me go all the way back up. Geez, sorry guys. I have missed some comments here. Somebody said that she's with Benito for longer than she was with Conrad, but I still think that Benito is still, like, technically a fling to Belly, because I don't think, even though we get those fireworks shots, I don't think it's her feeling fireworks. I think it's more like, I don't know. I don't think it's the same. I think she's going to have a slow-mo moment with Conrad, and that's going to be, like, a completely different thing. Here's the other option that we have is, like, what am I even trying to say? I think my theory is that Conrad is flying back to California when he chooses to change his flight, spends the money, and goes to see Belly. I don't know if that's for her birthday. I don't know if they've seen each other up till that point, but I do think that, I don't know that she'd have a bob, though. I don't know if Belly would have a bob. That feels like a little extreme, but, I don't know. Is there a reason we hear the cost change to flight? Feels like a random detail to include. I feel like we were given so many clues in the last, like, 10 minutes of this episode, and I'm trying to process them all. If Belly is scared of hurting someone again, I feel like she wouldn't write back to Conrad if her and Benito were still together. Oh, see, and this is where I'm, like, losing the plot, because I'm trying to remember what happens. I feel like Benito asks her to go to Mexico with him, and she's like, she doesn't give him an answer. And then I feel like we cut to June when we see, because that scene is happening April-ish, because she moves into the apartment. I'm assuming in April. Like, if Susannah passed away middle of April, then she has the rest of April to kind of move in, and then he's talking about going sometime in May. Or is changing his return flight from the conference to Paris, but I think it's actually the first option of going before the conference. Perhaps. See, I think it's this, Caroline. I think this is the purpose of the cost, but I do think there's a clue in there, because I also don't know if, like, they're sort of just trying to be realistic with the show, because, like, when Belly was like, I'm gonna stay in Paris, Laurel's like, what about your visa? Which I've never heard other shows mention before, but is such a good point. Like, yeah, you can't just, like, go to Paris and just, like, decide you live there now. Like, you have to have paperwork and documentation. And so, like, here, I don't know if it's to basically be like, $500 is nothing to Conrad to get and be with Belly, to see her, to talk to her, even if she doesn't like him back. He seems nervous on the flight, though, which is also just kind of Conrad's look. We love it, Connie baby. But yeah, so the Agnes combo is in June, sort of simultaneous with the scenes in the haircut scene. I think Conrad is going to her before the conference. I think, here's the thing. Okay, So Belly says to the hairdresser, I'm looking for something new this summer. Like, I'm wanting something new this summer. And I don't think that's the kind of, listen, as it, like, first of all, is she going to get bangs? Because that's 100% a breakup. But she looks too good to be, like, upset about the Benito breakup. I don't know. I just think if she's saying she wants something new, I don't know if that's supposed to be something that freaks us out, where she's nervous about, you're like, oh, she wants to be with Benito and not Conrad. Like Benito ever stood a chance. So sorry, sir. You and your little Vespa can off, because it's not an option. But I wonder if, like, what she's saying is, like, she broke up with Benito and is like, you know what? Like, this is a whole new summer, blah, blah, blah. And I do think the point is, like, also in her saying that is the fact that she is happy where she is. She feels like she's thriving. She's excited. She's actively making the choice for something new versus the way that she first showed up in Paris. And when she was walking around, like, I think there's supposed to be a lot of parallels there. Oh, okay. Heads up for everyone in the chat who is not, like, into looking at leaks. There are some leaks that people are putting in the chat, which I'm not going to stop you guys from doing. I just don't want to spoil it for anyone. Well, I guess I won't show the leaks, but people are saying that the outfits are similar to what's been seen in the leaks. So, that's crazy. Zoe said hot take. So I'm Team Conrad, but Belly needs a break from the Fisher Boys. So I think her and Benito should stay together. Or if, like, they did, I wouldn't be mad. No. Zoe, I respect the hot take, but if Jeremiah can be man enough to say, like, hey, if Jeremiah is man enough to be like, don't, I might be mad at you, but, like, do it anyway, basically, I just feel like we're not getting Benito. I just know that would be such an unsatisfying ending to the show. That would be worse than her ending up with herself. I'm going to be so honest. She was like, I'm going to pick me, actually. I'm going to stay in Paris forever. I'm never coming home. I don't want to go to Cousins ever again. I could accept that quicker than her being, like, with Benito. You know? Oh, no. Becky, you're all good. No worries on the spoilers. I'm just letting people know that the leaked photos are out there. That is not, I feel like, to be honest, I feel like everyone that's probably in this chat is, like, aware. Please do not apologize. You're so fine. Anyone that's talking about the leaked photos, I feel like we've low-key, like, all seen them at this point, so it's probably not a big deal. I'm just saying, I'm letting people know, so if they don't want to see them, not to actively seek them out. But, you binged Max and Hall today. It's so good, right? It has that feeling. Okay, so, sorry, I swear I will go back up to the other chats, because I feel like we talked about sorry, okay, I'm jumping over. I'm being very ADHD right now. I need to chill. Okay, if we're looking at their letters, so Conrad sends a letter that says, speaking of news, she told me you met some Spanish guy named Benito and he rides around on a scooter. Really, Belly? A guy named Benito with a scooter? He probably wears leather pants and has a long stringy ponytail. I don't even want to know. Don't tell me. He probably looks like a model and weighs 100 pounds and writes you poetry in Spanish, which is hilarious because we got the Spanish being spoken to her, Spanish poetry. I don't know what you see in a guy like that, but I don't know what you ever saw in me either, so I guess there's no accounting for taste, right? And this is, like, before he writes her back, because he basically just sends, like, a bunch back to back. They included a lot of the key lines. They didn't include the remember last year me and you at the summer house, best Christmas of my life, which I did kind of miss. Oh wait, I forgot it's mentioned in the book that it says for years he kept, like, Belly's response in his wallet, soft and creased into a million little folds. He said it kept him going, kept him hoping. He said he wanted to keep it with him always, but I said we should keep the letters together, and that's where they belong. Stop. I will cry again. But I don't know. The letters get, like, all the gist of the letters is, like, in case I haven't made it clear, I think about you a lot. Pretty much all I think about. Like, that made it in there. What does he say? Laura showed us pictures of when oh wait, I forgot about this. Okay, wait, this is in the letter too. Sorry guys, I've got the book up. Everyone pull your books out. It says, Jer asked if I'd heard from you, and I said no. He said you've been chatting online. He said you cut your hair shorter, then it makes you look older, more mature. Then Laura showed us pictures of when she came to visit you. I want to go there someday. I heard you aren't hanging out with that guy Benito anymore. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. So you're right. You're so right. Haircut is a signal that she is no longer with Benito. Because even though these letters have kind of been moved around and not all the lines are exact, the context of them and the order of in which he says all these things is correct to the book. So I'm thinking we're onto something, guys. All of our insane yapping and my crazy unintelligible timeline has gotten us to figure out that, yes, I think that we have skipped to the point where she's no longer with Benito. That's Mia said, yay, no Benito. We don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that if she's got her hair cut, then that means that they're good. Now, obviously, it's kind of implied that Conrad writes her back for 6 months basically, and we've already gone a year, so we've already gone past the way that the timeline. I think his show letters are better. I low-key kind of do as well. I feel like in the book, I think she took what was key and important about the book, but didn't make them I don't know. I think she just played them up well. I missed the crystal line at Mahmood, but it showed Conrad that it showed to Conrad that she still cared about him. The postcard we got in the show is very dry compared with the book. I mean, it's kind of similar because she says, okay, so she replies differently. When I come home next spring, you'd better show me that family portrait. Don't you dare try to get me out of it. Oh, and I'll be taking it with me since it's my gift and all. Oh, wait. Why did I think she wrote the, thank you for sending me Junior Mint thing? See, I feel like the difference is that instead of her talking about coming home, because in the book, I think she gets into the study abroad program. So it's not like she can be there forever, whereas in this, they already changed that to where she didn't get into her study abroad program. And therefore, I mean, it's never explicitly stated, I don't think. I keep saying this. I should reread the book, clearly, even though I just read it 2 months ago. But it says Conrad's letters to me when I was studying abroad in Spain. So in the book, she studies abroad. And yeah, so I don't know. I liked her letter back to him. I do hate the fact that I did love the Christmas line, but I feel like the show is very much playing up the love for all seasons. And I do think because summer has always been this transformative time for Belly, that they play up her and Conrad getting back together in summertime almost. The thing that I don't know is, in the book, more time has passed between that and the wedding. So I don't know, but I think, I feel like she might be younger in the book than in the show. Hold on, let's go to sorry, we're consulting the original text for this. She's studying. Okay. Okay, guys, okay. In the book, which I do like the choice that they chose to age this up, in the book, Belly is 19 years old. Basically, she's finishing up her freshman year of college. Whereas in the book, she is a junior in college and only has her senior year left to go. And by this point, she has graduated college. So by the time she's getting back together with Conrad, the time has already passed. Okay, yeah, you're right, Mahmood. I don't even know why I keep bringing up the book timeline, because it's kind of been thrown out the window. In the book, it's a completely different timeline. She goes back to Finch after the wedding, and then the following year, she gets into the study abroad program, and that is the first time he sees her is at graduation. Wait, I don't remember the graduation part. Hold on. Is that referenced? Blah, blah, blah. It probably is. Da-da-da. He went back to live in the fraternity house, and I ended up living with Annika. After all, junior year, I studied abroad. Oh, you're right. Oh, and she studied abroad in Spain. Wait a minute. Clearly, I cannot tell the difference between what I know from the show and what I know from the book. So I need to stop yapping about that, especially because that's the last thing. Okay. Wait, I don't know what IDT means. Oh, boomer behavior on my end. Belly knows the infinity necklace is under the scarf, though. I don't think anyone but Belly knows that the infinity necklace is under the scarf. I feel like Conrad probably saw it. But perhaps you're right. Perhaps. Because I don't know if Taylor sees it in this episode. Yes. Okay, Joyelle, I love that you commented this. When Belly and Jer are on the phone, hold on, I'm going to get rid of my timeline. Say bye. Everyone say bye to the timeline. Thank her for her work. Mostly thank you guys for, getting me in check and helping me with math, because clearly... Oop, no. Put the overlay back on, girl. What are you doing? Timeline. Get rid of that. Okay. They're both telling each other, I should let you go, and they both mean it in a deeper way. I liked how that conversation went a lot, because I loved how, oh, thank you, Mama, for saying goodbye to the timeline. I love the way that conversation went, because, hello, my camera is clearly Team Jeremiah and is, like, pissed at me. They both... When Jeremiah says to her, I don't want to talk about the past right now, but I just, like, wanted to get over with calling you, because if you've ever been through, like, not even a breakup, but, like, a friend breakup, or, like, had distance with somebody, sometimes it's just, like, sending that first text or that first phone call that is, like, the hardest, because you feel like it has to have all this weight of all these other things, and sometimes it's just easier just to, like, rip the Band-Aid off, do the call, do the text message, and then, move on. Like, and then you can address other things at another time, because I do think there's probably still going to be a conversation between Jeremiah and Belly at some point, maybe, but I think they did so much work with Jeremiah this episode. Okay, we need to get further into this, because clearly it's been an hour almost, and I've just been making a timeline. Okay, let me go back and go through your messages. Thank you, everyone, for being so kind to the timeline, even though she was a mess, but it was great while she lasted. Is she still with Benito by the end of the episode, since there are minor time skips? I think we've addressed that. No. If she's getting the haircut, she's probably not. Network 98, welcome to the stream. Did we get fireworks from a trailer? Yes, we did. So I do believe we have seen every shot from the trailer. Mia says her number one request for the finale is a belly flop and a final Conrad beach scene in the finale. I agree with you. I would love to see the belly flop. However, I will take just the Conrad beach scene. Goodness gracious. First time they see each other in the books is at her graduation. Thank you, Mahmood, for being our book expert, since clearly I cannot be trusted to remember this correctly. She's quite literally been with Benito longer than Conrad. I wish they kept to the book and just kept it a tiny fling. So I think she's with Benito from New Year's Day to, I'm going to guess, May, because I'm guessing if she doesn't go on this trip with him, she's kind of acknowledging, like, this isn't really going anywhere anymore. And so I think that's a 5-month relationship, whereas she and Conrad got together on Halloween. So technically, November 1st, November, December, January, February, March, April. I guess they broke up. I think they broke up in March. So it'd be exactly the same amount of time. But come on, like, she and Conrad were kind of, like, in the talking stages from the dead ball on, even though they weren't, like, technically talking the whole time. You know what I mean? But I think the point is not, like, the length of the relationship, but, like, the intensity of the feelings, because she clearly was never going to feel about Benito the way she feels about Conrad, obviously. What if instead, I agree with you that the fling is a little bit better, but I do think it's different to, like, I don't know. She has this, like, a couple of romance. I don't know. I think if she goes on the Mexico trip, then maybe, yeah, you have a point that she has, like, a little bit more seriousness. But I don't know. I just don't think it's the same. Like, being with somebody while their mom is, like, struggling with cancer and, like, going through those pivotal points in life. And, like, they just also, her and Conrad have known each other for so long, and they've both cared so deeply about each other for so long, that just because they only officially dated for 5 months, like, that was something that was repeated throughout this season and, like, the last 2 episodes is like, oh my god, they were literally only together for 5 months in high school, a couple months in high school. They dated for a little bit in high school, which, again, I say this as somebody who met my person in high school. I'm offended. I get that a lot of high school relationships don't work out. I get that there's exceptions to the rule rather than the rule being that they work out. However, obviously Belly and Conrad have a more serious relationship than that. Like, let's not even talk about it. Mahmood, why was this episode pure rage bait? Was it just Benito for you? Because I feel like this episode was swift. The pacing was great. The efficiency was there. We covered so much ground with Jeremiah alone, but Belly herself, we got to see Conrad progressing through school, fixing his relationship with Steven. Adam didn't fire Steven and Denise, but they were able to start their game. Taylor and Steven are moving in together. Like, I feel like we got so much progress, and I literally could never be mad about that. What if instead of Brussels, he's going to Paris? So he switches his flight. We've kind of talked about this, but I feel like it's after his trip, but perhaps it's before. Because I just don't think Conrad should throw off his work to go see Belly. It's different to give money to the situation rather than that. But, okay. I've seen a theory that she and Benito are over because she only decided to write Conrad back because she and Benito ended their little thing. Wait, yeah, maybe she... Because does she write him the letter and then we cut to Conrad and Agnes's conversation? Or is she with Benito? See, I think this is the important part. Belly would rather be alone than be with Benito, but she maybe would not rather be alone than with Conrad. We won't know officially what the timeline is of the end of this episode. Clearly, I need to immediately rewatch it tonight when I go to bed because I just have to. But I am also down for, like, them skipping over things because I think they want us to think that, like, she's got this boyfriend, he's flying to Paris, trying to go see her, trying to have a grand romantic gesture, and blah, blah, blah. I hope Belly's short hair isn't a bad wig. It will be so distracting. So I'm wondering, yeah, if it's, like, fully shorter or if it's, like, just, like, a layered, like, shorter cut. You know, I don't want her look to be drastically different, but she's always had pretty long hair, and so I'm kind of thinking they might just make it, like, here. I don't think it would be a bad wig. I really hope that they wouldn't ruin the series finale with a bad wig because I hate a bad wig so bad. But yeah. His roommate friend coming back and the letters were my favorite part. Okay, yes, I think you're talking about Agnes. I love Agnes. I love the fact that Agnes is so team Conrad that she's like, go get him. Even though it's very clear to me that Agnes previously had a crush on Conrad. Whether she does anymore, I don't really think so, but she never acknowledged. Oh, okay. Mahmood is talking about Belly's feelings for Conrad. She never actually acknowledges any feelings for him. Her response in the book was much better. The postcard for me felt very dry, platonic even. I don't think it's platonic because if this is your ex who you realized you did still have feelings and feel like you will always have feelings for, writes you a letter, I don't think you give him your new address if you want to let it go. Like, Taylor even says, like, hey, it's a new year. Like, you don't have to, like, keep writing. You don't have to accept his letters anymore. And she literally moves. She gets the letters either forwarded to her or collected, and she sends him one back. I don't think she would do that because, like, if she was just really not interested anymore, I don't think so. I don't know. I get where you're coming from, that you want to see, like, a love confession from Belly to Conrad in the finale. I do think we're going to get that. But yeah. There's a slight time jump with the end scene because Belly's friend moving out, anniversary of Susannah is in April, and the Conrad and Agnes scene and Belly's birthday is in June. Joyelle, if I had just looked at this message, my timeline would not have been necessary. Oh my God, Sheila says, I'm so glad Adam finally cut Jer off and made him get a job. I am so excited because Jeremiah has something going for him, actually. He has friends outside of his brother, his, like, ex-fiance, Steven, and, like, he's not staying. I love him and Denise's relationship, and listen, last week, if you had asked me, how would you feel about Jeremiah and Denise getting together? I would have said, hell no. No, I do not support that, no. The chemistry that they had, even platonically, while they're watching TV on Christmas Eve, yeah, I'm about that, actually. I want Jeremiah to be happy again. I do. I admit it. A confession time. I want him to be happy again. I do want him to be happy with Denise, and I want them to both live a wonderful life. And I love the fact that Jeremiah, because I forgot that it's always been implied he's really good at cooking, and I feel like they've seen a better end game for Jeremiah, because again, in the book, it's literally like they break up, skip a couple years, she's getting married to Conrad, and he has a girl there well, okay, wait. hold on, I'm being dumb. The time jump in the book is obviously to a couple of years later when she's on her wedding day. It obviously isn't meaning that she and Conrad get married that summer. Okay. I need to chill out. I need to calm down. These are fictional characters. It's okay. But yes, I think Adam cutting Jeremiah off, even though at the time Jeremiah was like, "Ugh, this sucks," he's actually able to grow for the first time. And also I think is like his relationship with his dad, like probably gets better towards it. And the fact that he's even able to stand there and have like a civil conversation with Conrad and hug Conrad and tell Conrad that. And like he still has some growth to go, of course. But I really enjoyed getting those moments with Laurel and with Denise. Also, I think we partially this episode was so good because we got the sorry, I hit my microphone. Live stream jail, take me to it. We finally got a conversation where we got 10 extra minutes in this episode. So I think we were able to have room for some of these conversations and like add in a lot in this episode. And I think that I definitely am starting to think that next week's finale might be an hour and a half because I don't think they have that much left to cover, but it wouldn't surprise me if they made this episode 10 minutes longer if they gave themselves just a little bit of extra time to go on. You know what I'm saying? So her French getting significantly better was so funny because I feel like we're expecting her to know French going to Paris. That I think is so funny is like she's like, I guess she's technically saying she's using the Hunger Games French book to learn French because she knows the original so well, whereas I always took it as she knew the French version so well. So I was making jokes like, girl knows how to say, I volunteer as tribute in French, but not like, here's my passport, thank you, bonjour. Like, I love seeing her French develop because one, Lola Tongue's French is gorgeous. I mean, I don't know that many French speakers, so like actually I could be totally wrong about that, but like it sounds so pretty in the show. And I think it's such, using the language barrier is such a great representative of, I remember last week saying, I feel like the fact that she doesn't know French and she's forgotten French is about her like deprioritizing herself and her own interests and her own growth. Whereas the fact that she knows it by the end of the episode, like pretty flawlessly and can interact with people and can call their landlord about a leak is such a representation of the time she's been able to invest in herself and how much she's grown. Like, I think that's just such a effective way of showing that, without like, knowing a language doesn't point to like, I've grown as an individual and I've like been there for myself. But in this show, it really, really works. Okay. The Laurel Jared car scene was very precious. I agree. I loved that scene because I kept thinking that she was going to convince Jared to go inside. And the fact that he didn't, I think, worked really well because it again, they do such a good job in this show of every time they need to speed things up for practicality reasons, they make it work in a way where it does not feel rushed. I don't know if any of you feel like this episode was in any way rushed, but I certainly felt like it was very, like, it was just handled so well. I felt like there was time given for everything. Important conversations were had. Everything was well written. I got to see all my characters. I don't think there was a character that I cared about that I didn't see in this episode. I guess, I mean, like, God bless Cam Cameron, but I don't think we're ever seeing him again. You know, like, it was just, I loved this conversation because I also think it's a reflection of how much all of the characters have grown, because in season 2, obviously, like, Belly and Laurel have a fight about Laurel not being there for the boys and like Belly trying to be there for the boys, but Laurel has been there for both Conrad and Jeremiah in the year fallout of this, but she's also been there for her own daughter. She's like managed to find a way to be there for all of them and support all of them, and I really loved that. Also, I think we see in this episode how effective it was to get Steven and Taylor together last episode, because I remember saying last week and in my review like video that it was kind of a little like, that was kind of like the focus of that because you needed to get certain elements out of the way, and now there's actually like, as long as Benito and her have broken up, and that's what's implied by the haircut and her birthday coming up, there's no more obstacles to her being with Conrad. Like, the growth is there. Jeremiah is okay. Conrad's continued to go to therapy and progressed on himself. Steven and Taylor are together, so we don't need to deal with that in the finale. Like, we're actually, like, they're actually moving in together. Like, it makes me so happy. Wait, okay, I'm going to talk about the leaked photos. Sorry, guys, if you don't want to hear it, close your ears. But there's been some leaked photos of Belly in a yellow dress and Conrad in a suit or like an outfit, something like that. again, I've tried not to look at them a lot, but sometimes they pop up on my Pinterest. I don't know what they're filming, and it looks like the yellow dress from the poster that I talked about, like belly and yellow. And I kind of feel like maybe it's Steven and Taylor's wedding in Cousins that they're going to. Because obviously if they got back together in Cousins is now like a special place for them as a couple as well. And even though that doesn't feel like as much Taylor's vibe to like get married at the beach, maybe that's what they're in attendance for. Theory, tell me what you think of it. Let it fester, let it brew a little bit, and then let me know what you think. That's live on the spot. That's what you get here on the Sasha Raquel YouTube channel, which if there are any of you who love yapping about the show who are not subscribed, I would love for you to join our little fangirl and fan guy community here, if you should be so interested, because I would appreciate that. Anyway, that's going to be my only ask for subscriptions until the end. Sorry, that was kind of a cringy YouTuber thing to do, but I did it anyway. Okay. Jeremiah was at his best this episode. Agreed. I loved this because last week I literally could not hate him more. I literally could not be more mad at him. And this week we got his conversation with Denise was so good. His conversation with Conrad was so good. His conversation with Laurel, and even his conversation with Belly. Like, he talked to all the most important people in his life other than Steven, who's actually the one that like is the one that's like, hey, you can't stay here anymore. And I will say, I think this is such a, again, this is a TV show, right? Like, I'm not saying take all these things and apply them to your own life, but I think this episode was such a show of when things get tough, like people can figure it out and sometimes people need a little bit of tough love, and Jeremiah is definitely that person. Like, he needs a little bit of tough love to figure out what he's happy with and where he's going in his life. And I think him working in the kitchen is supposed to be like him following like an endeavor. Like Conrad said, like, don't just follow dad's path. Do this. I also really like, we're even getting redemption for Adam Fisher when he did not fire Steven on the spot. I was like, because I gasped when that happened, when Adam walks in on Steven having the like sending the voice note or leaving the voicemail for Denise. I was so stressed, and yet he's like, no. And then Steven actually realizes, like, wait, I've been waiting for you to fire me. Like, no, actually, like, I would like to cancel, like, I would like to cancel my employment. I would like to quit. It's just so good. Agreed, Mia. I didn't think renaming Jeremiah was possible. I'm so happy for him and liked him by the end of the episode. Agreed. Okay, sorry. This is all the timeline stuff, so I'm skipping. Sorry. Me being bad at math made people bad. Her date of passing away was April 14th. We moved through a year in Ep 10, and so now we're in summer 2028, either end of May or start of June or even late June. Agreed. Probably like mid-June if she said her birthday. I think she says her birthday is like next week. Guys, we're like so on. Not that we weren't. See what I did there, Benito in Spanish interview, and that a fling is exactly what Belly needs in the moment. Yes, she definitely needed. I think she needed to be with somebody that was not one of these two brothers, to be honest. And the fact that she did that in her year of being abroad, I think is very important. And it's also like her time abroad is not technically over yet. Maybe her and Conrad do long distance. Perhaps. At the end of the episode, oh, okay, sorry. I'm going to skip all the time jump stuff. Okay, yes. Conrad's wearing the same outfit as in the leaks. It's been 4 years from season 2 to 3, and then 1 year she's been in Paris, so 5 years since Susannah's death. Okay, I'm glad the timeline helped people once again. So sorry that took up so much time at the beginning of the screen. I feel like I didn't talk about any of the episode. I just like launched into that because I thought I was onto something, and I think we are onto something, but I think we're supposed to be onto it. Like, sometimes I need to not try to be as smart as I want to be in my brain. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, he kept the postcard in his wallet for a while and hasn't mentioned it to anyone, because I think the earliest she could have sent that letter and broken up with Benito would have been in April. That's the earliest. The latest could be like June. But I agree with whoever said it that I don't think she would have written. Yes, I can imagine her writing Conrad back like right after her and Benito end things. Maybe she wrote him back in May. Yes. Okay, and people are saying like maybe Conrad goes before the conference, and that's why the fare difference is a lot, because he's leaving like earlier. I like that. Okay, yes, April, because she's reading. Oh, Oh, you're right. He sends her the letter and says, like, Jeremiah and I talked, and that happened in April, so it probably would be at least probably May, if not, like, or, like, end of April by the time she writes him back. You right. If Conrad and Belly were together from Halloween prom and here, and Benito New Year's Eve to May, if she breaks it off instead of Mexico, not sure the length of Benito is longer. Yes, agree, it's not the same for her. Yes. I think we may get another letter saying, I heard you're not with Benito anymore, like in the book. That's how let's say it without saying it. Yeah, I agree. Because I think it's going to be, I don't want to have to see her break up with Benito. I kind of just want it to be over and be like, you know, it's fine. That statement, I want something new, is like she's looking for a change because it's a fresh start, because this is technically the first summer she's not in Cousins. Oh, you're right. This is the first summer she's not really in Cousins. You're so right. Wait, I kind of like that. I think Conrad and Belly will have a fling like her and Benito had, and then around Valentine's Day we'll get flashbacks, and then we'll get them being together, and then the proposal wedding. I don't think we're going to see proposal, and honestly, I think if we get wedding, it's going to be exactly like it is in the book, where it's like post-ceremony. Like, we're not going through the whole wedding planning thing again. Obviously, we don't have time. But that's my take. Is like, I think the episode will end with the narration from Belly of like, I think we need to get a very like intense confession from Belly. And perhaps that happens in Paris, because Paris is the city of love, baby. Oh, I love that. I don't think she's still with Benito. She told him since the beginning that she's going back home and it's still not looking for anything serious. But like he says, that he thinks that's changed because she's staying in Paris. But I think for Belly, it hasn't actually changed. Okay, Mahmoud, I disagree. I think that Belly does love Conrad. I think that the love she has been able to show him in the context of the show has not been like in the way that Conrad has reciprocated to her, because Conrad has obviously been like yearning over her, loving her for all these years unreciprocated. And so I think that's very easy to see like his acts of service and the things he does for her. But I think with Belly, I think that is why we probably are going to get like a big confession from her this episode. Yeah. Okay, I may be in the minority, but his show letters are better. I need to listen to them, but I do think they have the important parts of the thing, except we all agreed that we missed the Christmas line. But I think he knows that I think the postcard being sent at all, I think, tells Conrad all he needs to know. Kind of like Agnes says. Like, Agnes is like, oh, I don't know, this is pretty platonic to me. He's like, really? And then she's like, no. She sent the letter, obviously. Like, it's not platonic. And yes, she cuts her hair because Jer said, I love your hair so long. Don't ever cut it. And I think this is like she's doing it because she wants to do it. She's not doing it out of spite. She's not doing it for a guy. She's not doing it, or not doing it because of a guy. She's doing it because she wants it. Some people on socials were claiming Conrad was being manipulative by sending her junior mint. Thoughts? No, I don't think so, because here's the thing, like, in some ways he's like sending her, he sends at least 2 letters, I think, or 1 letter prior to the care package, because he sends a letter like before Christmas, I think, maybe, and then he sends the care package by New Year's, or arrives on New Year's. I don't think it's manipulative. One, I think it's important because in the book he sends both, so they obviously have to be there in the show. I don't think it's manipulative because he specifically does not say in his letters, like, I love you so much, like, I want to be with you, blah, 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 call me up, text me, blah, blah, blah. And he's specifically not texting her or calling her, right? He still has her number. He's just sending these letters because a letter is, like, if she wants to ignore it, she can. If she wants to, like, not open the care package, she can. But, like, I think it is a sweet and somewhat romantic gesture because of their history and because of, like, but I think you're right. I don't think that anyone but Belly knows that the infinity necklace is under Junior Mint's scarf, because I think sending the infinity necklace is like, if he knew that was there, I'm not even going to say it's manipulative, but I definitely think it's like a more emotionally romantically charged thing than Junior Mint is, because Junior Mint is just a memory that they had as a kids, and Sour Patch is just something that it's like, oh, haha, like, I'm sending you, like, this thing you might not be able to get abroad. So that's my thought. Says Junior Mint is loaded, but I think Taylor would comment on the Infinity Necklace if she saw it. Okay. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm so behind on the chat, guys. I'm so behind, sorry. In this episode, only Belly sees the necklace under Junior Mint's scarf. Denise's advice to Jeremiah was so in line. Yes, her advice to him was so good. She is great. She is my favorite. I said this while I was reacting to the episode, but she is my favorite non-book addition. I guess outside of Taylor and Steven's relationship. But like Taylor and Steven's relationship and then Denise as a character has been my favorite addition to the show, because I think Denise adds so much, and I do kind of think that Denise and Jeremiah are going to end up together, which some of you might have addressed because I'm so behind, but yes. Okay. Paula arrived late. Paula, no worries. Welcome to the stream. Whenever you arrive is right on time. Felt very frustrated by this episode. There were 3 episodes to develop the things that were rushed from the book, but the series is still feeling rushed. Okay, so you're saying like last episode should have taken some of this and next episode should have taken some of it. Here's my thoughts on this, Paula. 1, I do think that Steven and Taylor can get together at any point because they're not in the books, but I do think it's important to like have them get together, not in the finale. I also think if our theory is correct that Belly has already broken up with Benito by the time that we pick up in episode 11, which I can't believe is next week, I think it's important we don't see her like kissing on Benito in the same episode we see her like kissing Conrad. Like, that is just going to cognitively, again, am I going to accept it because Conrad's going to be endgame? Yeah, I'm going to accept it. Whatever whatever crumbs she chooses to give me, I will eat up as if I have not eaten for weeks. But I didn't necessarily feel like it was being rushed. I felt like it was well paced. I feel like the conversations had value to them. It wasn't just like 1 second like Jeremiah sad and the next second he's like, go be with Belly. Like, anyway, I don't think it will be 2 hours long, Mia, but I do think we'll have a good bit. I don't think it matters the length she was with Benito. It matters the depth. Yes, obviously she's keeping it casual. Agreed. Paula says, what annoyed me about Benito is that this is the penultimate episode. We saw her receiving the Infinity Necklace during one scene, and the next she kisses Benito for the first time. I think, okay, so Belly has always kind of been with Taylor, and I'm not saying that Taylor's a bad influence. Taylor honestly has given some very good advice, but Taylor is basically saying like, okay, so what? Like, you've been here for 6 months, you blew off getting married to his brother, and now you're just gonna like wait to like be with Conrad. And I think in some ways Belly is like, maybe she kind of has feelings for Benito, and then she like goes over, and I guess maybe where the point you guys are coming from is that like Conrad has basically like not been with or dated anyone basically since Belly, or it's not like shown in the show that he has. Whereas I think in the book it's kind of like implied that he and Agnes sort of date for a little bit. Somebody remind me if the book is like fresher or more permanent in their mind, but I feel like he does kind of date her. I guess my thing is like Belly literally almost married Conrad's brother, so I'm gonna forgive the fact that she has a little fling with some random guy that doesn't matter, I guess, personally, even if she's like reminded of the Infinity Necklace, because what did she say in the wedding episode? She says when Conrad Fisher tells a girl he loves her, that's something a girl can bet on. That's something a girl can like set her whole life on, basically. And so like I think that's important for like when Conrad is literally face to face with her. But I think it's like, is Belly ready to like make that jump? I don't know. Guys, I apologize. I actually cannot turn the volume up any higher. So if it's too low, I apologize. I'll try to speak a little louder, but I quite literally cannot turn it up any more than I'm turning it up. Apologies, but it was rage bait because I didn't see Belly addressing any of her issues with Conrad. But has she, like, what are the issues that she has with Conrad? I feel like we addressed the issues she has with Conrad in season 2. When he's like, I thought you knew. And she's like, I thought you would fight harder for me. And blah, 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 blah. And he's like, my mom was dying, basically. And then in this season, when they have the fight on the beach, I think they kind of resolve that when he leaves. I agree that Belly needs to have a confession for Conrad because we've had Conrad's big confession and we kind of just need something like that from Belly. And something to be like, every time I look at the moon and stars, I think of you, blah, 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 blah. I think we will get a flashback in this next episode because there's one flashback in the books that's really important about like Conrad and Belly on Valentine's Day, the Valentine's Day that they were together when Belly was in high school. And he like showed up after classes and like basically they have like a picnic under the stars with like hot chocolate, and she talks about how like he didn't give me flowers or candy, he gave me the moon, the stars, infinity. And I think that's kind of like, I don't know, I guess I can't like point to anything in the show. Maybe my fellow Belly defenders can help me out with this, but like I guess I can't think to anything in the show that's so like, oh, Belly like has this like endless, like this is a moment where we can tell her endless devotion. But like we've been able to see that with Conrad, and I don't, to me the Christmas episode is like the last Christmas from the season, is like how we know that Belly's feelings for Conrad are like just the way she laughs. And anyway, sorry, I'm not gonna keep going on with that because like Mahmood, I have a fear that I will not change your mind about this, which is okay, but I hope that the series finale gives you exactly what you want there. Georgia, welcome to the stream. I just joined the stream, but can I say that this episode was so good? Okay, so we got some mixed opinions in the chat about the episode. Okay, I'm gonna actually wait. I'll do a poll. Wait, how do I do that? Start a poll. Hello? Did you like this episode? Or was it not your, or hold on, what do I want to say? Or were you not a fan? Yes, I loved it. No, I wanted more. More/different. Okay. How do I? No. Remove this third option. Okay. Everybody vote. Vote in the poll, please. I'm just curious. A general consensus of who loved it versus who was a little bit middle of the road on it, which is totally fine either way. I'm just curious. Because I give my opinions, you guys should be able to give yours too. Okay. So yes, I joined the stream. Can I say this episode is so good? Jer and Conrad reconciling. Belly choosing to take the apartment. Getting her friend chills up. Conrad and Steven was a low-key great moment, and I loved the fact that they were playing video games because I feel like that's something we saw them do in season 1 when they're kind of like hanging out at the house and like there's less drama. Season 1 is all vibes, baby. Season 1 is all vibes, and season 2 and season 3 are very much the drama. Season 2 is drama. Season 3 is like plot. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would describe the show. Mahmood says she's taking accountability with Jer, but not with Conrad. I'm just going to skip ahead to a couple of Mahmood's different comments. She writes the letter after a couple things after he says love Conrad and how he mentioned that Jer is okay with him. Okay, yeah. And then I'm just trying to follow Mahmood's point. Oh, okay. I think I'm actually up to date. Okay. Paula says the pacing is just intense. They showed us Belly hooking up with Benito in one scene, and the next she's giving her address to Conrad to keep receiving love letters from him. Just insane. I just feel like here's the problem. I'm just gonna defend Belly every time, and I know that's biased of me, and I know that's maybe not seeing it with like the freshest of eyes. But I don't know. I've been that girl that's like so wildly obsessed with a boy. So I'm going to forgive Belly every time. I understand her. I see her. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, do what you need to do. I'm not saying anyway, never mind. Agnes said it's only an hour and a half train ride, so it's pretty low risk of him flying into Paris is low when it refers to his job. Right. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be $400. I want to Google flight stuff, but that's actually not the best use of my time right now. It's not the best use of our sleuthing skills. We will figure that out eventually. I could ask ChatGPT. Or, Hold on, I'll just Google it. Actually, I don't need to ask ChatGPT. I don't even think I have it logged in on this computer. Why would changing a flight cost almost $500? It was just such a specific amount, which made it seem more okay. Changing a flight can cost almost $500 because you are charged both a fare difference and a change fee. The airline assesses the change fee, which can be high depending on the ticket type, and you must pay any increase in the original fare for the new flight. For example, changing a non-refundable or basic economy fare on a domestic or international flight can easily result in a nearly $500 cost due to the combined charges. I mean, he's clearly flying coach to go see Belly. My man didn't upgrade himself. He said, I'll upgrade for my woman, but I'm not. I'll change my flight for my woman, but I'm not upgrading. And King, you shouldn't have to. She rates first because he has it in his wallet when he talks to Agnes. She rates back when he is more direct about his feelings and says, love, Conrad. Wait, but when Benito is there, has she opened the letter from Conrad yet? Because perhaps that's the thing that she needed was like, I don't know. I wonder if they're cutting her hair like Sabrina when she went to Paris. Hold on. Let's see. Sabrina movie. Audrey Hepburn. Guys, we missed the Easter egg of all Easter eggs. I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. I noticed it right away in this show. When Belly is sweeping at the movie theater job, you see the Sabrina poster above her. I don't know how I didn't see that before. Was it edited out somehow? Let me see. Look at my own short. Because I swear I never noticed it before, and I can't believe I didn't. Maybe it was just so too small that I couldn't see it. But in the show, you could. And I absolutely freaked out. Hold on. Looking through my own videos on a live stream is cringe. Here we go. Oh, is it there? No! I think they changed it out. Hold on. Investigation is commencing currently. I have to see if they swapped it because I think they edited it out. Guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Actually, I'll assess it later. You know what? I'll assess it later. Now it's not the time. If any of you are able, I don't want to mess anything up with the stream, but okay, I'm distracted. I'm supposed to be looking at what her hair looks like in Paris when she goes to Paris. Audrey Hepburn haircut. Her hair is definitely swept back. I feel like that's pretty short. I feel like that'd be insane if Belly all of a sudden has a pixie cut for the final episode. I just feel like that's going to get memed, especially with how much Taylor's hair got memed, you know? Listen, let Belly do be Belly, but like a pixie cut for a finale of a series, that's an insane change. And that's also like not like her hair is going to grow overnight. Plus, I just don't think that's going to be it. I don't know. Okay. Yes, completely surprised how okay I am with Jared and Denise. I literally never thought I'd be that way, but yeah, like I was full team Redbird, but I genuinely do think he's going to end up with Denise now. I don't think that scene with her would have happened if it wasn't trying to build something, because that could have been any other character. That could have been Steven. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have been because Steven was at the house, but like Steven could have gone home. I don't know. Anyway. It felt platonic because Belly didn't think once of Conrad during this episode. Not only she didn't send him any messages, there were no flashbacks or anything. Belly acted like she moved on. I feel like, I guess it's just because I know she hasn't. I don't know. I'm not trying to defend her with things that are not present in the text, but I just feel like there's so many times when Belly has been like, oh, I'm over Conrad, and she's like so clearly not, that I guess here she stops in the hallway when she gets the letter from him and she reads it like immediately and is like smiling. And so I just know, I think in her head, that's just like a reality of like, if she makes that choice to be with Conrad, it's such a, like, that could just have like repercussions. Okay, it looks like, I don't know that the poll is about 73% loved it, 27% didn't, with about 33 votes. So I think that's a good polling. That's about a third of you guys watching right now, which is crazy. Denise and Jared have chemistry. Agreed. Okay, I like Jeremiah and Denise. They contrast each other well. I want Jared happy too. I also agree. Denise will be the alpha in the relationship, and Jeremiah kind of needs that. He kind of needs an actual adult to keep him in line, and I think Denise can be that, but in a like, both initially in the friendly way, but also potentially as like a partner. Like, I think that works. What did I say last episode? That Belly and Jeremiah, if they got married, would be a hot mess, because when she's wandering around Paris, like, she needs somebody there. She needs somebody to help her out. She needs a partner that knows what he's doing, which is Conrad, and Jeremiah needs the same thing, which I think is Denise. Also, I think if Jeremiah gets engaged to a character that we know and like as much as we know and like Denise, it kind of makes sense. Also, she would not have said the line, "When I fall, it's like I go off the side of a cliff," if she, like, romance wouldn't have been brought up if we weren't supposed to think that, I think. I don't hate Jer, I just don't like Jelly. Tattoo that on my forehead. I don't hate Jeremiah, I just don't like him and Belly together. So true. When Agnes read Belly's close card, she said that's it. Then she tried to discourage him from going to Paris because of it. No. She says that's it. And then she goes, oh, come on. Like, he wouldn't have gone if she was like, no, you shouldn't go. Finally, the Conrad Taylor friendship agenda has been fulfilled. I'm so glad they were friendly and talking consistently. They have been on the same boat this season. That's probably the one interaction we didn't get this episode, but it kind of didn't make a lot of sense, because anytime Conrad is around, he's in for a very specific reason, versus like when Taylor is there. Obviously, she's with Lucinda at Christmas and stuff, but I agree. I love that they're talking. I feel like she just realized, like, this is not all your fault, which Jared kept saying, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. But then he admits, like, I knew the relationship was over the second I brought up Christmas. Like, I knew I would have to face the facts. Which, the fact that he can even say that this episode after what he was saying to Connie Baby last episode. Oh my gosh. I don't think Jeremiah should end up with anyone at last minute. He should be shown doing therapy, because the show talks about his codependency, inferiority complex, but doesn't deal with it. I think the problem is, if we're getting into the weeds of like, we need to see Jeremiah in therapy, when like clearly he's with people who are like, what did Adam say? Like, Jeremiah's going to lean on the people who are there to support him, and Jeremiah is doing that this episode. Yes, I agree that help from a professional is probably great, but I don't necessarily need to see a scene with Jeremiah in therapy. It could be implied that he goes to therapy, but I also don't want I just don't want the last episode of this show to be like, oh my gosh, like, Jeremiah went to therapy scene. Great, like, Jeremiah is totally okay with this. Da-da-da. Like, I don't need it to be, she said she doesn't want a neat ending. Jenny Han said she doesn't need a neat ending, but she needs a hopeful ending. And so, like, Jeremiah not being, like, totally okay with the fact that they're together is not super, like, that makes it messier, right? And I'm kind of down for that. I also think, like, I don't know. I just think, here's the thing. I trust the show and these writers so much, especially after tonight's episode, that I genuinely I can't see them fumbling this next episode. Like, I can't see them. I'm using too many double negatives today. This is like the third or fourth double negative I've used. I do not imagine the writers. I don't think the writers are able to fumble the bag. This isn't making any sense. The writers are going to stick the landing. I trust them to stick the landing. There we go. Just stick with positive, no negative. And I genuinely believe that they know where they want the show to end, what's going to happen. And I think if the writing at all this season has been any indication of their ability to, like, understand the novel and adapt it in a way that is, like, good for fans, but also surprising for fans, I trust them implicitly. What can I say? My guess is Conrad is going to Paris on his way to Brussels, and frankly, they spent too much time on Benito relationship for them to end it off screen. I don't even care. This is how far gone I am. I don't care. Tell me he died. Tell me his scooter crashed. I don't care. Tell me he went back to Mexico. Tell me he's pissed at Belly. I think it's different if we show Belly and him breaking up than it is like them being romantic still and then having to break up. I think those are different. that also would lead to why there's a time jump, is because like maybe we have the flashback, flash forward, flashback. And we got one flashback this episode, and I think we're probably going to get another one. I think we'll get that Valentine's Day one, if I had to guess, but I don't know for sure. It's insane that we're having to guess if Benito and Belly are over or not. This shouldn't be a question. It should be shown on screen or at least discussed. I mean, I think it's going to be addressed very clearly next episode, because I do not think that they're going to like... I don't think she's going to be like two-timing Conrad with Benito. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I just think, obviously, if you go, okay, love interest everyone wants, main female character to be with, is coming to Paris to be with her, and she has a boyfriend that he doesn't know about, or like, whatever. Or I guess he would know about, but whatever. I just think that, I don't know. I think the show is having fun with like having us guess, but like, did they have us to see if... We got to see if Belly chose to speak to Conrad or not at the airport. I think that's I think it's going to be addressed by the end of the show. I just don't think it's smart to address it in your penultimate episode when that's like the cliffhanger you can leave your audience. I don't know. Sheila says, I know Jer hooking up with other guys and girls even before Thanksgiving, though, just proves his love for Belly wasn't that strong. I mean, I think he knows that, and he even says that to Conrad. He goes, like, what we had was never this, like, what you guys have is, like, almost cosmic or whatever, which sounds a little cheesy, but I think it's true. Glad Conrad finally called Jer out for season 2 timeline. Needed to be said. Yes! Oh, I cheered because, sir, you made out with Belly a month after they broke up and, like, less than a month after their mother died and their house was being sold on the hood of his car while she was wearing his sweatshirt. I will never be over that despicable crime, Jeremiah Fisher, because I just can't. Oh my god. No, it is okay. Why is this going away? That I agree. I'm so glad that Conrad I feel like they aired out all their dirty laundry between the two of them as brothers. The only thing is, does Jeremiah know his father cheated on Susannah? I don't know if it's relevant anymore because I've forgiven Adam Fisher. I have. But, and I think the whole story is about, like, this episode was a lot about, like, forgiveness. Forgive yourself, forgive the other people, especially for Jeremiah's storyline. Benito can crash in the force field at this point. I just need the wrap up to be satisfying however it plays out. Agreed. I do not care if Belly and Conrad get married. I do not care if they are in Paris together or if she has to fly back to cousins. I don't care if there is a 10-year time jump. As long as they end up together, they confess their love together, and they kiss by the end of next episode, I'm going to be a happy camper. Listen, don't care if Benito they retcon him out of the show. Would it be bad writing? Yeah, but would I care? Nope. Nor I would not. I think we think that it was a leak scene, but I think it was just for the photos we saw for the promo. Oh, Andrea's talking about the yellow dress. Perhaps. But I feel like I've seen them filming something in a car, which was specifically Conrad's car. So, I don't know. The last time we saw Benito, he was inviting Belly to visit his family in Mexico. The show made their relationship more important, so their breakup should have been shown or discussed on screen. Paula, I think you will get the clarity that you want in the finale. I just don't think it was smart to show it this episode because here's, like I've said, I keep mixing the brothers up. When Conrad and Belly are back together, when they say I love yous and a Taylor Swift song plays in the background, the show is done. Like, everything needs to be wrapped up before that point because then there's no more tension for the audience and then it just kind of feels like a useless epilogue. In the book, the epilogue is the way that we find out who she picks and who she ends up with and how, like, the story ends. Like, but we're not told that until, like, the last pages of the book. And so I think in the show, it is critically important that we are not, like, that it's not that Conrad's going to Paris because he knows he and his girl are getting back together and that Belly also, like, there needs to be that tension for one more week, and then we will have the entire series in all together. I still want a Conrad wedding at the end. How will we see Belly's letter otherwise? So this is what I was actually thinking about, Mia, while I was cooking dinner before this stream. I do think we will see their wedding day, but I think it's going to be, like, in the book, she reads Susannah's letter, and we get to read Susannah's letter, and then we see, like, them between the ceremony and the reception of their wedding day. I think we will, in the show, see the reception Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I keep burping. That's so grody. It's so not ladylike. And I need to stop. I think that... Okay, sorry. Let me get back on track. Sorry, I burped and I confused myself. I think that if we have the Susannah letter voice read over, like VO'd over the scenes of them between the reception and the ceremony, I think that's going to be perfect. And that's how I think we'll see the letter. Because I agree with you. I do think the letter's going to be back. I do think the ring's going to be back. I do think that's important. Again, we don't know how long the episode is, and we won't know until next week, which, guys, I should probably do a follow-up poll on this. But this week, I thought about doing it. The timing was not right. For next week, though, because it is literally the finale, and I'm not necessarily going to ask you guys to wait to watch it with me, but so usually I watch the episode and then we get on the live stream. Next week for the finale, should I watch it on stream and you guys see my reactions real time? We watch the episode together, or like I'm watching it. The only thing that's making me nervous about that plan is I'm going to have to like probably hide your guys' comments because I do not want to get spoilers. Like, it's the last episode. I can't have it spoiled. Like, I need to watch it. However, I do think there's probably like an easy way for me to do that, and I can just respond to all the comments afterwards. It would obviously be a hella long stream, and I got to figure out if I can even do that. Would you guys be interested? I'm scrapping the 3 a.m. idea because that is just, it's not happening. It's not going to work out. I cannot make it work. I'm not going to be able to stay up at 3 a.m. And also, I think streaming it at 3 a.m. would like make no sense. But I do think it would be so satisfying to come home and watch it on stream and have you guys like there. So then we can like immediately talk about it. Thoughts, opinions, please share them on that. Because I'm open to just doing it the way that I've been doing these, because this has been, guys, short little interruption before we get to the rest of the episode and end the stream, which I'm not ending it right away, but I can't tell you what this community has meant for me, for my channel. I get emotional every time I talk about it. I have been posting videos to this channel since 2019. So 6 years now. I love this channel with my whole heart. I think about it every single day. I think about content every single day. And the fact that this show has brought me nearly 1,000 new subscribers, like 100 average viewers in these streams every week, and people like, it's not about the numbers, but it's about the comments you guys leave and seeing you guys and chatting with you guys and like not talking to a camera and not having anyone talking and like talking about theories and talking about our opinions, whether you liked or disliked the episode. Like, it means so much to me. And again, I apologize that I'm getting emotional and sappy in the middle of the stream when you guys are literally being like, what about Benito? But it means the world to me, and I really appreciate it. And so that's why I kind of want to make this finale big, because I know a lot of you are going to stick around afterwards, but I know that there's some of you who are like kind of clocking in for this show, and I just want to let you know how much it means to me as a person. So thank you so much. Okay. Sabbiness over. It's done. We're done. We're cutting myself off. Do you think something's going to happen with her dad and they will bring her back home? Why would he mention heartburn? Everyone wants something tragic to happen in this finale. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I kind of thought of that as a throwaway line. I thought of it as that was a very married couple type scene, not as like a tragedy scene, but like a very married couple type scene. And that's kind of, I don't know, that's how I took it. And when he's like, oh, did you move this? And she's like, no, it's where it's always been. And like, he kind of like, I don't know, that just felt very like, ooh, are they back together? I don't know. I don't think Conrad even knows about Benito in the show because Belly didn't tell him, nor Laurel. You could be very right there. I don't know. That felt so weird and random. Some people think it was an ad. I will say, this show is not beating the ad allegations in the last couple episodes. Apple AirTag, red Gatorade, Peptade in this episode. There was something else in this episode that I noticed. Sour Patch Kids. Which I will say that the Sour Patch Kids Swedish Fish thing is like, they're milking that Summer Rich and Pretty, and I love that. But listen, I've said this like multiple times today actually. As long as you keep giving me Taylor Swift songs, Harry Styles songs, like popular songs to represent these characters, their emotions, and what's going on in the show, I'll forgive the ad every time. I'll forgive it every time. It kind of makes sense if that was an ad. Such a weird ad, though. But listen, like I said, you gave me two Taylor Swift songs this episode. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, which perfect, and The One, also perfect. And then we got Sign of the Times. We got a Bon Iver. Is it Bon Iver or Bon Iver? Someone let me know. I'm uncultured, clearly. The series just made a bad job of showcasing Belly's feeling for Conrad throughout the entire season. It feels imbalanced because we don't see anything of Conrad's life outside of him pining for her. I mean, yes, but you have to think about the fact that, like, the book is written in first person. It's from Belly's perspective. We get Belly's narration in the show, which is kind of the carryover of that. And I do agree that we are told a lot more about Belly's feelings for Conrad, of her being like, I love Conrad Fisher, more so than we, like, see it, whereas, like, we actually see the acts of love. But, like, I feel like, especially because I'm rewatching the first season, when Belly looks at Conrad and has those visual moments, yes, it's very female gaze, and it just, to me, communicates all her feelings for him in a way that, like, doesn't need to be told. I don't know. Again, would I like that verbalized, and would I like to see them actually together? But I don't know. I'm just, again, I feel like now Belly is getting shots for, like, I get what you guys are saying. I do get what you guys are saying, that, like, the show and the writing, while good, has not, like, maybe made the most effort of Belly, but it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, I guess I'm trying to think of, like, examples. I'm sure, like, I'll be honest, I agree with you guys in the sense that I get what you're saying. But I just, you're not going to convince me that Belly doesn't actually love Conrad. Like, I just believe that in my heart of hearts and in my soul, and it's not going to convince me. And I think the biggest, like, realization of that is, like, the way that it's shot every time she sees Conrad in this, like, slow-mo, like, the way that she sees him. I don't know. And I also think this season, like, has very much, like, this plot is very much about Conrad having these feelings for Belly, and therefore, like, I think in the finale they do have a unique opportunity to, like, really lay it all out there and sell it. But yeah, I agree and get with what you guys are saying. I just am like, no, I know she loves him. Like, I don't know how to tell you guys. I wanted more from Steve Conrad reconciliation. Still confuses me that Steven is still so loyal to Jer when he cheated on Belly, but it's still cold to Conrad. I think he says to Conrad, like, I just don't know how to, like, hang out with you. I don't know how to talk to you when this is going on. I do agree that I don't think Jer is getting, like, enough slack necessarily for cheating on Belly. But I guess, like, Belly did call off the wedding. So, like, potato, you know, or not potato, but, like, I think I agree. This reminds me of an episode of Bachelor in Paradise from this season where everybody was mad at a guy named Brian because Brian told a girl named Bailey that Bailey's boyfriend wanted to, like, date somebody else in Paradise, basically. And it was this big secret and kind of everybody knew, but nobody really took it seriously or figured it was, like, Bailey's boyfriend's responsibility to tell her about it. And so they were like, I'm not going to be the one to do it, but Brian did it. And I thought that Brian was doing the right thing. Like, he was doing the honorable thing and basically being like, hey, just before you get too serious with the guy, I think you should know this piece of information. And Bailey and her boyfriend are still together to this day, so it's all fine. Like, but Brian was painted to be a villain in that, and, like, that he broke boy code. But in this situation, too, like, I'm also, like, I think that people are not mad enough about the Jeremiah cheating thing, but also, like, the cheating thing happened prior. It's not like he cheated on her before the wedding. Like, during the engagement season, he cheated on her before that. And I agree that I still think that's wrong, but I think that's kind of, like, I agree that other people should be taking it more seriously. Like, I think Taylor took it seriously at the time and gave him crap for it, and was then the one that was like, if you want to get back together with him, like, I won't judge you. I mean, and, like, does Laurel need to know? No. I don't know. I can forgive that. I agree with you that, like, it is annoying, but I think Agnes and Conrad dated, at least had feelings for each other, even if not to the same extent. I think it's implied she's like, oh, I know about unrequited love, like, in the first episode, so it's like, okay, you know she liked him at some point. In the book, I definitely think they dated. And the show has implied that Agnes and Conrad had a hookup as well, but they ended because Agnes wanted a serious relationship and he didn't. The problem is we don't see Conrad's flings. Yes, but I think that's... Okay, let's be honest. The show is shot for a female audience. Girls are way more forgiving of other girls, I feel like. Or sometimes I feel like we could be. Than, like, being... I don't want... It's... Okay, let me put it this way. It is unromantic to me for Conrad to be the choice if we see him with other women. For me, Belly being with Benito is kind of a separate thing. And also, we all are talking about how, like, Belly maybe, like, needs to take a break from the Fisher boys. And now she did, and now we're beating her up about it. And I just don't think that is fair to our girl, Isabel Conklin. It's not fair to her. The issue is that she constantly internally denies her feelings for him. Agreed. She self-sabotages, and, like, yeah, girl, like, maybe you should also go to therapy. But again, I don't think we're going to see everybody in therapy. I think for Conrad, it's, like, super important because of how far he needed to come from, like, seasons 1 and 2. But, oh, more of you guys are voting. Now I have 52 votes. 69 still loved it. 31% wanted more / different. Some things I think were rushed. Conrad and Jeremiah's reconciliation. I don't think they're still on, like, perfect terms. But I can see where you're coming from. During last episode, he acted like a Disney villain. He used Belly's call to taunt his brother, and his change isn't believable. See, I do believe it, though, because it's, like, over the course of a year, and I think it's well acted and well written enough that, like, each time we see him, he's slightly better. He's not perfect, but he's slightly better. It's jarring to see Steven holding such a grudge against Conrad for staying away, but has no problem offering his house to a man who cheated. Listen, I don't think it's perfect either, but these characters were all going to reconcile at some point. Like, this episode does take place over the course of a year, which I get is not fair when the last episode took place over the course of 24 hours. I do get what some of you are saying, but I do think if you split this up, it's less build up to the finale. Again, there's the perspective of, like, the story, consuming it as a fan, and then there is the perspective of, like, the experience of... Like, there's the getting the story angle, and then there is the... we have a TV show that is coming out weekly and we need to keep people hooked until the very last second kind of thing. I want to see the brothers hugging, but the switch between last episode, Jeremiah, and this episode was very quick. I liked the result, but I didn't think we saw enough to justify his change. I think we did. Unfortunately, Paula, love you, girl, but I do disagree a little bit. I thought Jeremiah was pretty cute in his glasses, too. It kind of worked. The first time I saw him this season in the glasses, I was like, no, reject. But now... probably because he's not with Belly, I'm like, I like it. Let's all hope that Belly and Benito broke up because it's going to be annoying if Conrad arrives and see them together. We don't need a new love triangle. Yes! Okay, Paula, we're on the same page again. Girl, so glad. Did not want us to be on different pages, but yes, agreed. If he sees Belly with Benito and then is like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to be with her anymore. Like, do you know how sad I'm going to feel for then, like, the next 30 minutes of the episode? So sad. I don't want that. Okay, people are agreeing with Paula. Agreed. The flashback felt important. We got that before she wrote him back, right? Yes. The flashback of she knows what she wants. And she basically says, like, no, I always want to be in Cousins. I think it's about, like, because she gets that flashback on the day of Susannah's death anniversary, which is in April, which is the day she's basically accepting the lease from her friend, Lucy. So I think it's important that I agree. I think it's important that we got that beforehand because that does imply, like, she knows what she wants. She has had this dream life. And also it's like a memory of Susannah and the connection. And yeah, it's very sweet. It would be nice to all watch together, Paula says. Some of you can't wait. I totally understand. This is the first time I've ever interacted with a live stream. Aww. Thank you so much. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Give me the syllables so I can say thank you to your proper name. But thank you so much. That's so sweet. I can't believe you never commented in a live stream before this, but thank you. I'm so glad you commented here. Your thoughts have been so great. Maybe because they know it's giving us heartburn watching. Yes, they're like, all you girls are struggling. This is what you should buy. I'm a Tums girl myself, not sponsored, but the chewable very berry ones, they're so good. The advertisements, aside from the AirTag, the AirTag one was the most blatant, but I will forgive it because it did set it up in the bridal shower episode when Steven gives her the AirTag. So I can kind of forgive that because they like literally wrote a plot point, like 2 different plot points about it. But I agree that I don't think they're that annoying. I'm not personally bothered by them. Do I notice them? Absolutely, of course. But they don't bother. It's Screena. Screena. Oh, it's a screen name. Guys, the amount of boomer moves I've had on this stream tonight. Stop. Screen name. Well, thank you anyway, C. That's what I'm gonna call you. C. Girl, thank you so much. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing about heartburn. I don't want John to die. I don't want anything bad to happen to John, but I guess I would like, I don't know. I don't want any more trauma in this show, personally. I think I'm good. I'm tapped out on the trauma. You know, I was just reminded this episode of Susannah's death, so I don't necessarily need more. I don't really want more bad things to happen to parents. But if it happens, it happens. That would be crazy. Conrad flies to Paris. Belly goes home to deal with her dad. But it's been 6 months. And I feel like we would have had the conversation like my dad is dead. Like I think she would have mentioned that in the letter, but I just don't think that's the case. I'm so glad the boys made up this episode. Easily my favorite scene of the episode. I love that scene. I just think it gave me everything I wanted to from the reconciliation of them. It's not perfect, but I don't think any scene in the show was going to be perfect because the show is not about Belly and it's not about Conrad and Jeremiah getting back to being perfect best friend brothers, because there's probably some extent where they can't be that anymore. But them being able to be happy for each other, be like a communal, like be a family, be in cousins, spend holidays together, I think is really important. The backpack scenes were evil, and I will never forgive AirTag for episode 9. Jeez, I do feel like that's one of those things, like, that's just gonna be memed on forever. We saw Conrad with Nicole in season 1. Oh, true! Sheila, thank you. We did. He not only, like, he has, like, the whole, most of the season 1, he's with her. And then we also, Aubrey, who is referred to in season 1 and is the reason they all think he's like moody when he gets to the beach season 1. They're like, oh, he broke up with Aubrey, like that's why he's sad, because it's his first love. And Conrad's like, oh yeah, Aubrey was my first love. I literally just watched that episode the other day. But he's dating Nicole the whole season. And then yeah, season 2 he's obviously not with anybody because he's like with Belly and we have those flashbacks. But you're so right, Sheila. I can't believe I didn't remember that. But yeah. And then in season 2 at the funeral, part of the reason he and Belly have the whole like moment is because like you'll never forget the sound of a woman who loved you, of the woman that loved you. That scene at the funeral, he's being comforted by Aubrey. And Belly is, like, jealous because she's like, oh, my God, he ran right to another girl. And he's like, no, she was just there and I had a panic attack. Did we address they are pairing Denise with Jer? Yes. Kier, give me your take on this. I am all in on it, honestly, at this point. I want Jer to be happy. I think it'd be fun if in the book there's a reference to, like, Jeremiah being at their wedding with a girl. And I think she's supposed to be, like, wearing a ring around her finger. Let me check. As in they're engaged, not just like, oh, randomly has a ring. Let me check. Oh, okay. I see the part where she talks about the college graduation. Blah, blah, blah. Where's the part where she sees... I look out the window and there's Jer across the lawn. He has his arms around his date and our eyes meet. He gives me a small wave. I wave back and blow him a kiss. He smiles and turns back to his date. So I think that is like, again, little line that Jeremiah finds somebody else post Belly. And like, basically was like, hey Belly, congratulations. Let me go back to my girlfriend. And I think extrapolating that into this entire subplot with like Taylor and Steven is so clever. And I just think that would be so fun. They just act married. John and Laurel, I think, is what you're talking about, Tina. Oh, AC says, sorry, joined late. How do I watch from the beginning? I think if you go to the YouTube, the video is here. Sorry. And at the bottom of the video, like where you would make it full screen, I think you can drag it back and start from the beginning of the stream. You're more than welcome to do that. Or whenever the stream is over, the full replay, you could just watch like a YouTube video. So sweet of you to watch from the beginning. Been yapping for, oh my God, almost 2 hours. Guys, that's so long. Guys, y'all. Goodness gracious. Conrad made a comment in the first letter about how he should be memorizing the cardiovascular system right after or before the pepsid scene. Oh, dang. You guys, I'm clearly freaking out too much when I watch these episodes because you guys, Jennifer, you're clocking very important detailed information. That's so interesting. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think I just don't want anything else tragic to happen in the show because I don't want the show to be like, it's the tragic show. Like, I think Susannah passing away and then like grieving her death and growing up and like losing a mother and that kind of thing and like losing a part of themselves is really important. But I think that making like multiple parents, like we already had Steven have a car accident this season, lest we all forget that he almost died. Paula says, we were also sure he would end up with Redbird. Everything's changed with one episode. No, I know. I mean, Redbird was in this episode randomly. I was like, oh, hello. But unless they're trying to do a spin-off with Jeremiah and it's his love triangle with Denise and Redbird. What do we think? But yeah, no, genuinely, I mean, I think this is like the perfect example, right? Like, we all, like, the theories that come in the show, like, I was like, no way Conrad's going to Paris. How wrong was I? Really wrong is the answer to that question. I kind of like Denise and Jer, Andrea says. I do too. I like them. C is saying, I'm waiting for someone to make the chronological Conrad edit after the finale. Oh, that will be everywhere. It will be all Belly and Conrad scenes in order. And they're going to have a field day. The editors are going to have a field day. Have you guys seen that one edit? I'm sure you have. It's been going around everywhere. I posted it on my story a couple weeks ago. And I'm thinking I'm going to do I need to make a Instagram highlight for The Summer I Turned Pretty. Because the fact that I don't have one is kind of crazy to me. But it's basically where like Conrad comes down the stairs at the funeral scene, grabs Belly's hand, and like when they push it down, it cuts to the beach scene. It's crazy. It's like the best edit for the show, I think, that I've seen so far. Tina says, I think Denise and Jeremiah would be good together. And says, okay, thanks. Of course I'm watching. Couldn't wait for your feedback. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your support. And listening to me yap, because I just cannot imagine possibly how annoying my voice might be after 2 hours to some people. So I appreciate you all for staying tuned and listening. Billy still better get Susannah's ring after all of this. So I said this last time, I think, but I think key elements are the fact that Jeremiah has Susannah's ring and that Laurel has the letter from Susannah. I don't think that those elements would have played into the story if they weren't going to come back again. Much like our AirTag friend, they're being set up for later payoff, I think. Agreed, Mia. I don't think they would have something so tragically. I don't think anyone wants a made-up non-book subplot that does not really have to do with, like, Belly and Conrad directly. Like, it happening to somebody else close to them. I just don't think it makes as much sense. Kier says, agreed. I'm so good with it. It was just so unexpected. No, I agree. Literally, again, like I said, last week if you had told me that it was going to be Denise and Jer, hell no, I would not have agreed with you. Now, after today's episode, hell yeah, I do. I think it's happening. Kier says, last week I went back and watched from the beginning. That is commitment. I have been watching from the beginning sporadically. I've done like a really random rewatch, and this is where like episodes and seasons are merging together for me. Even though I think if I like had to explain the difference, I could. But obviously around like episode 4 or 5 of this season, I started rewatching the episodes before the next episode would come out, like in full, basically. Like I'll probably rewatch this episode tonight or tomorrow, being so honest, like episode 10. And then in between, like when I'm doing chores or dishes or whatever, in the background I started season 2 over again, and I think got most of the way through that, if not finished it. And then I also have now gone back and started season 1, and I need to just like continue it all the way through and watch through. But I'm also like, maybe I'll just do that once the whole show is out, you know, and like revisit this when I need to go back to Cousins, when I need to go back to Summer. I don't believe in any spin-offs except for maybe Susannah and Laurel. I agree that I think the Susannah and Laurel one makes the most sense, because I think if you try to just make like a Jeremiah spin-off, it's too much. I think that the Susannah and Laurel one has legs and could really work, like for probably at least as long as this show is, but even just like one season, I think you could like make it really good. Which I think if you follow like the Bridgerton formula and do the like Queen Elizabeth thing, like I just think that could work so well. But I think you're right. I don't think they'll do a Jeremiah spinoff. I just don't think that would be popular enough, but heck, I would watch it. Tina says, I'm not feeling the connection with Jaren Redbird. I think if they were going to develop that one, it would have happened more at Thanksgiving. And the fact that it didn't, to me, is like not a big deal. I think he was genuinely just there to like reveal that Jeremiah is not in school, basically. And so that Adam's pissed. Okay, Joelle says there are theories that there are Easter eggs pointing to a possible secret 12th episode. I don't know if I believe it, but that would be crazy. I don't think that they would have missed the opportunity to market. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, Taylor Swift can drop a secret double album. Taylor Swift doesn't have to release a single to her album because she's Taylor Swift, and eventually, like, everyone will talk about it. Like, actual news coverage cut away on the day that she got engaged to announce, to like talk about her engagement. That's how newsworthy and noteworthy her news is. As much as we all love The Summer I Turned Pretty, and as much as it feels like it's inescapable in our social feeds, like I guarantee you it's, well, actually I can't guarantee you because I know it's popping up on my husband's feed, probably because he's hearing about it all the time, but also because he's sending me like Jeremiah Miraglaze memes. But I genuinely don't think that this is as big as that to where a 12th episode being a secret. Wait, what are the Easter eggs, Joelle? I want to know what they are. But I don't think I don't think it makes sense to just have a random secret 12th episode. Like, would I love it? Sure. But I don't. When you're trying to get people to tune in week for week, I don't know. Also, sorry, my eyebrows kind of look a mess now that I'm looking at them. I need to work on that. Tina says, I would love that. Paula says, the first season very easy to binge watch. Second season, not so much. I think second season is just like so sad that if we were consuming it all at once, I will say I watched like the last 4 or 5 episodes this summer while I was traveling, like back to back to back to back, and I like couldn't put it down. But it's also because I like desperately needed more Summer I Turned Pretty content, like as much as possible. Joel says, I rewatched the whole series and re-listened to all the books as this season was coming out. That's amazing, Joel. That's commitment. Andrea says, isn't one of the Easter eggs the A14 on the moving box? Isn't it connected to T Swift somehow? A14, August 14th? She's on the podcast August 11th or August 13th. Joel says, everyone is comparing this Easter eggs to Taylor's Easter eggs. On a box when Belly is moving, it says A12. And Taylor had an Easter egg with A12 on the back of stadium seats. No, Joel, that was not terribly explained. I get it, because I think A12, August 12th, is the date she technically announced the new album, and then the 13th was when she had the podcast, or... Not me hunting down the New Heights podcast right now. Hold on. New Heights. New news. I don't know if I'll actually get copyrighted for that. I shouldn't say that. They probably have that trademarked. Okay. Taylor went on... Has it been a month already? August 13th was when the podcast was posted. But I think that the announcement of the album... 12/12 on the 12th. August 12th. Wow, wait, that's not me learning about Taylor Swift Easter eggs claiming to be the Swiftie of Team Conrad. Jeez, I need to sometimes just when you think you're doing well in a fandom, you're actually behind. Not to mention, if they wanted, they still could have shown the children, Stephen, Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah, interacting in the same spinoff as Laurel and Susannah. I mean, I think they could definitely use some of the casting of the young kids and or like recast the young kids and have them in there. And also agreed, like they could have little Easter eggs if they wanted to. Like the only person I think they would maybe have like show up in that again would be Lola, but you could totally do it. Adam showing up at Friendsgiving. I was like, what an icon. This man is just popping up at all the family holidays this episode. I kind of loved it. I did like it because that's like the first holiday where it would make sense for like him and Jeremiah to like him to check in on Jeremiah, but then like it becomes the day he cuts Jeremiah off, which is like so ironic. But anyway, I did really like that. Honestly, the thing I liked most about Jeremiah was him out of nowhere becoming a chef. Yes, I loved it. It makes his mirror glaze thing make sense. It makes the palette and the tasting of it all and like that being his one thing, it makes it make sense. It also, from season 1, they have set up that Jeremiah is a good cook and that he's a chef. Like he does all these things. Like Conrad can cook his chicken, but like actually Jeremiah is good at cooking. And I love the fact that they've given him something, because throughout the show, Jeremiah's thing has basically just been flirting with people and like dancing and throwing parties. And in this season, it's been beerology. Whereas in this season, like, or now we're actually getting him to have cooking, whereas Conrad has always had, he's had sailing, he plays guitar, he is really into like Lord of the Rings, like all those kind of things. So I really liked the fact that we kind of got something like that for Conrad. Venti Blonde has a great question. What have been your fave Taylor Swift needle drops so far? My absolute fave will always be The Way I Loved You from season 1. But if you're talking about season 3, I think that Taylor Swift needle drops. Loss of My Life gutted me. And I did not expect Cardigan, but Loss of My Life, Love of My Life during episode 7, like Paula says, gutted me in a way that I was like, I did not imagine that they would play that song. Also False God, because of the way that it came back into play. But yeah, that's my number 1 request for the finale, actually. Well, number 1 is that Conrad and Belly get back together. But number 2, very shortly behind that, is The Way I Loved You. Those would be my 2 biggest asks and favorite. Like, I need those things to happen so badly. But, yes, I just really need it to happen. The other theory is that one of Taylor's new singles will be in the finale. So I've seen them talk about that because Jenny Han has talked about the fact that, like, people aren't ready. There's going to be crazy needle drops, like, in the show. It would be crazy to me if one of the new songs comes in, because that's going to send both fandoms, which there's a lot of overlap, but both fandoms like crazy. Am I excited about that concept? Yes. The only thing is, like, it just doesn't feel like Taylor to do that. But also, did I ever think that Taylor Swift would post about her engagement like 2 years ago? No, I never would have thought that. And let's see, if there is a Taylor song in next week's episode, that is only a week and a half, or no, 2 weeks. Just a little more than 2 weeks before her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, comes out. So that'd be crazy. I would love that. Did Adam break up with his mistress? So they're together at Thanksgiving because he says like, oh, Kaylee's at her parents' house and I'm not. She's not there at Christmas. I don't know if that's a practical thing or the fact that she's just with her parents again. I would love to see that followed up on, but again, like, am I gonna be mad at the show when it ends being like, I didn't know what happened with Adam and his mistress? No, like, I'm gonna be fine. Everyone I think thought, there was a minute there where I thought Kaylee was pregnant. Alas, since it's been a year, no, she's not, but I really did think for a hot second there, like, I was hook, line, and sinker for that theory. But I think that just shows, like some of you have said, like, how much changes in a week with this show and like how much we believe initially that doesn't end up happening. But guys, I have been streaming for 2 hours now, and if I can get my camera to like focus on me so I can say goodbye, I think we will rejoin each other next week. I mean, I will be posting content all weekend long and into next week, obviously, about The Summer I Turned Pretty, about also My Life with the Walter Boys. I've almost finished season 1, not quite yet, so no spoilers for that. And then, of course, as much as I hate that The Summer I Turned Pretty is ending, we will be talking about Gossip Girl, or not Gossip Girl, sorry, Gilmore Girls, so sorry, Gilmore Girls for fall. And yeah, guys, these streams have meant the world to me. I will be so emotional next week. Today I can control it, so I'm just being sappy today, but next week I'm so emotional. Like, I just have so much fun in these streams. You guys are the best. Your support of the channel means the absolute world to me, and it's been such a reward to take a show that I'm so passionate about and I love so much and find other people that share that with me. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. There's a lot of content coming up. I am still trying to figure out, to be completely honest with the ones of you who are here, Gilmore Girls, I don't know that reacting to every single episode is going to be practical in the way that like one a week has been practical for this, because then we would literally be doing Gilmore Girls for like the foreseeable like 3 years. So I'm going to try to figure out how the format's going to want. So just be patient with me as I like figure those videos out. Obviously, please leave thoughts. I'll probably make a community post asking you guys for your opinions and thoughts, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, come here, this spot, next week, probably around the same-ish time, maybe a little bit earlier if I choose to watch the episode on stream. We'll see what I decide to do, but no way My Life with the Walter Boys Season 3 is dropping in October. No way. Hold on, wait. My Life with the Walter Boys. Sheila, you're just gonna summarize some story arcs for Gigi. Okay. News. Hold on. Wait, Sheila. No way it's coming in October. Okay, I don't actually want season 2 spoilers. But I've got content coming for that. Mexican Hall is coming. Anyway, there's a lot of great stuff. So give me your, sorry, I'm just seeing myself there's a little bit behind on my like review screen and I just zoned out. But yeah, summaries for Gilmore Girls, but maybe even like episode reactions if I can get them. But like, yes, like subscribe, please. If you find me a fun person to watch online, I would appreciate it a lot. Okay, I'm going to actually officially end now. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything. I will look into the My Life with the Walter Boys news because that would be very exciting and another film for us to talk about. But thank you guys. You guys are the best. Genuinely, a girl could not be more lucky on the internet. And I appreciate you all so much. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. Be healthy. Stay sane until next week's finale. Okay, bye guys.